It was a September evening in a small town in Pennsylvania. The day had carried the heaviness of deadlines, bills, and unspoken worries. The kids were finally asleep. The house quiet except for the hum of the refrigerator. Emily sat alone at her kitchen table, a mug of chamomile tea cooling in her hands. She was exhausted. But something deeper than tiredness haunted her, a restlessness in her heart she couldn't quite name. She remembered the priest's homily from last Sunday. What if the voice of God is not absent, but drowned out by the noise in your life? Tonight, those words refused to leave her. She pulled her Bible closer, opened to Luke 1, and whispered, "Lord, if you want to speak, I want to listen." It was in that silence that she sensed it, a maternal presence. Tender and familiar. As if Mary herself was near. Not as a distant figure in a stained glass window, but as a mother entering her kitchen, speaking in the stillness of her heart. And so began a journey through 10 blessings, a roadmap for a soul hungering for peace, for healing, for hope. The first grace Mary spoke of was peace. Not the shallow peace promised by a glass of wine, a successful paycheck, or a temporary escape, but a peace that roots itself deep in the soul. Emily thought of the sleepless nights when worry wrapped around her chest like chains. The fear of losing her job, the constant worry for her children's future, the political chaos flashing across her phone screen. "Child," Mary whispered, "peace is not the absence of storms, but my son walking with you upon the waves. Give me your burdens, and you will not drown." That night, Emily did something radical. She placed her unpaid bills beneath the crucifix in her living room. She laid her fears about her son's health at Mary's feet. For the first time in months, her shoulders loosened. She slept not because her problems vanished, but because she trusted she wasn't alone. The following night, Emily found herself recalling her father's cancer diagnosis, the bleak words from doctors. That same despair crept back. But Mary's voice broke through. "Hope, my child, is not a blind wish. Hope is a certainty rooted in God's faithfulness." Emily remembered the wedding at Canaan. The wine ran out. Mary didn't panic. She trusted that Jesus could transform emptiness into abundance. Mary urged, "Even when every door closes, heaven still holds one open." For Emily, hope meant believing that no matter how dark the night, dawn would come. It was the strength to walk into the oncology ward with her father, not pretending it wasn't hard, but daring to believe that God still held the story. Mary then turned to wound-hidden scars Emily carried since childhood. She remembered the sting of harsh words from her mother, the betrayal of a close friend, the mistakes she wished she could erase. "You cannot heal what you refuse to face," Mary whispered. Emily lit a small candle, placed her hand over her heart, and confessed aloud the pain she had buried for decades. She wept, but the tears were cleansing. "Give me your wounds," Mary said. "I will hold them in my hands until they are no longer open cuts, but holy scars that testify to God's mercy." That night, Emily discovered that healing wasn't forgetting, it was remembering without bleeding. The next grace was perhaps the hardest. Emily thought of her estranged brother. 10 years had passed since they spoke, each convinced the other owed an apology. Mary's voice was firm. Forgiveness is not saying the hurt was acceptable. It is choosing freedom over chains. Even Jesus, innocent and crucified, forgave. Emily resisted. But Mary pushed further. If God has forgiven you, Who are you to withhold forgiveness from other 7 from yourself? That night, Emily whispered his name in prayer, in the name of Jesus. I forgive you. The words felt foreign, almost forced, but something loosened within her. The prison door cracked open. Joy arrived unexpectedly. Not happiness based on circumstances, but joy rooted in the truth of being loved. One morning, Emily awoke before dawn. She poured coffee, stepped outside, and watched the first light spill across the fields. For once, instead of scrolling through her phone, she simply whispered, "Thank you." That small act of gratitude birthed joy. She realized joy isn't the denial of sorrow. It's the ability to sing even with tears in your eyes. Mary reminded her, joy is a weapon. When you sing in suffering, darkness trembles. Trials didn't vanish. The bills still piled up. Her father's health still wavered. But Mary offered perseverance. Perseverance, she said, is not stubbornness. It is faith with stamina. Emily recalled the farmer down the road, tending fields through rain and drought, trusting the harvest would come. Her faith had to be like that, Ailey. Steady, resilient. Each time she wanted to quit praying, Mary urged, stay one more day. Grace is growing beneath the soil of your struggle. Emily then faced tensions at home. Misunderstandings with her husband, arguments with her teenage daughter. Division threatened to hollow out their household. Mary's blessing was unity. Unity doesn't erase difference, it weaves them into harmony. Like the notes of a symphony. Each voice is needed. Emily chose small gestures, listening before speaking, apologizing first, setting aside her pride. Slowly, the house softened. Dinner conversations lengthened. Laughter returned. Unity became her family's miracle. Mary saved perhaps the hardest grace for last, faithfulness until the end. Faith is not a moment, but a lifetime of yes, she whispered. Emily remembered her wedding vows, the promises she made at her children's baptism, the commitments she had neglected when life grew hard. Mary urged her, even when passion fades, choose faithfulness. When prayer feels dry, pray anyway. When love feels costly, love anyway. Faithfulness is not about never falling, but always rising again. Emily nodded, tears streaming, for she knew this was the grace that would carry her to the finish line, into the embrace of God. By the time dawn broke, Emily realized that the blessings weren't abstract ideas. They were lifelines. Peace, hope, healing, forgiveness, joy, perseverance, unity, and faithfulness. Each was a thread weaving her life into a tapestry of grace. She returned to the kitchen table, the candles still flickering, and whispered, Mary, thank you. Stay with me. And in her heart, she heard it again. Child, I am always with you. Friend, you have walked through this story. Perhaps you recognized your own wounds, your own struggles. Maybe one of these blessings spoke directly to you. Now I want it from you. And more importantly, when you look at the violence and injustice in our world, where do you stand? Do you believe Mary's blessings can confront the anger and division tearing at our nation? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Let us begin a conversation, not just about faith, but about how faith can heal a broken society. Because tonight is not only Emily's night of grace, it can be yours too.